Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to look at our urban worm bag that has the European Nightcrawlers in it. Now, if you watched my video that I posted for my African Nightcrawlers, you saw a lot of mold on top of the system. Now, I've never really had issues with mold in the past because the worms have typically eaten all the mold that grows. So it's never been an issue. And that was the first time it really was. Now, I have done the exact same type of feeding in this system that I'm about to show you that I did in my African Nightcrawler system. But the European Nightcrawlers are much more active when you're down in these lower temperatures. It's around 60 degrees in my basement. I think the system was around 62 to 64 degrees. These worms are fine like that, these European Nightcrawlers. So if you live in a colder climate, this is probably the worm for you. And with that, I bet that there's going to be maybe a little bit of mold, but I bet it'll be close to zero. I can't imagine that there's a lot in there. I haven't really taken a look, but I've been doing these feedings now for a couple months, and I haven't had any issues until just recently. I think the African Nightcrawlers, with the temperature dropping into the single digits here, and the basement dropping into maybe really 60 degrees, which is around deathly for African Nightcrawlers, caused some issues with that system. The Europeans, we're going to see them just bounce right back as soon as we add our food and our bedding material and everything like that. So with that, let's take a look at our European Nightcrawler system and the urban worm bag and see how they're doing. All right, here we are with our urban worm bag. Now, because of last time, I do have a mask on just in case there's any issues as far as mold in here, because I did feel I should have a mask when working with anything that might have mold. So I've got my N95 on as we open this up. And it looks like there's a little bit of mold in here, but it's really not too bad. You can see there's a little bit right there, a little bit over here, and a little bit over there. But really, I mean, this is nothing compared to the other one that was just covered in it. If you look at a picture or you go back to last week's video, let me just grab my glove here. And we're going to go ahead and dig in here and see what's going on. So first thing first, we're going to remove this container right here is for the fruit flies, although I haven't had any fruit flies in my basement now for a while. Just clean the bottom of this off, get some of the cardboard that's stuck on there off. It still has some liquid in it. I'm going to put that to the side. And you can see a little bit of mold here, but no big deal really. It's very dry on top. You just dig in here a little bit. Let's take a look. Just trying to see if there's anything here on the surface of note. And not really seeing anything. And you can see this material. This is the Vitamix stuff, and it sort of sticks together a little bit and kind of clumps. It really needs to be, I think, worked in a little bit better. I didn't realize that when I was just dumping it on top. We got a mango seed. Got some avocado peel. So there's some stuff that's still left over from last time. This is a piece of biochar or charcoal. Maybe wasn't fully done there. I have been adding a lot of that stuff to my system. And look at that, we already found worms. Tons and tons of worms in here. So you can see right here, they're a little bit small compared to how big they normally are for European Nightcrawlers. But they are in this system here. Oh, this feels really compacted right now. I'm really having trouble digging down in there. Just work it this way a little bit. It's easier when I dig down with my fingers than try to force them through the other way. But see, look at that. You can see there's worms in here. They look good. They're moving around. System's a little bit dry. Plenty of worms in here though. I'm really glad to see that. Really, really compacted though. And a little bit dry, although I have been adding water to the system as well. But it just shows how quickly it sheds water in this type of environment in my house where it's really, really dry. There's no humidity in my house. I have to constantly run humidifiers because of the way of how cold it's been. And so that's that side. Let's just move this over to the other side now. Let's check this side. This is on camera, right? You can actually see what I'm doing. Look at it. You can see this is really stuck together. But there's lots of worms in these. Each one of these bundles has a bunch of worms in them. Nice and healthy. Right now I'm just trying to break everything apart a little bit. I think we're going to add some moisture to this. I should say, I know we will. All right. So let's just go ahead and mix all this up here. I'm going to take, this is a big thing of the Vitamix stuff. I'm just going to plow this underneath here. Put some food in there for them to find within the system itself. And I think what we're going to do here first is we're going to water this down. I've got my sprayer right next to me here. And for those curious, this is a rigid battery-operated sprayer from Home Depot. And this is just, I like rigid products. I've had a good luck with them, and I have a lot of their batteries, so that's why I bought this one over some of the other battery-operated ones you can find. But this is a good, we're going to kind of mix this up a little bit, kind of really get everything wet on the top. Give these guys some fresh moisture, and I can rinse my gloves off. This water might be a little cold. It has been sitting in my basement for a while, so which means it's probably about 60 degrees. But hopefully that's okay for the worms. We're just going to get all this, and get a couple, just kind of moisten the surface here just a little bit. We're going to have more water run down in there, I'm sure. There we go. Just get the couple inches that are moist. Clean off my glove a little bit here. There we go. And that's going to run down into the system there. I'm going to put this off to the side now. And let's get some food in there. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to just kind of dig just a little bit. Just make a little bit of an area to put food in the center here. Because the first thing we're going to add is we're going to go ahead and add a big spoonful or shovelful of the same food I've been giving, which is the stuff from the Vitamix. This stuff does tend to heat up a little bit. We're going to do that. And actually I should have left the system on because I'm going to spray this down a little bit too just to moisten it up. Maybe mix it in just a little bit. There we go. Just want to mix it up a little bit. This stuff is going to build some heat in the system, which will be good for it. As I said, it's pretty cold here. But what's nice about this stuff when I add it compared to the other stuff is that this is not frozen and is not cold. So I really don't have a lot of issues with adding this stuff, it feels like, compared to some of the other things that I add, which we're going to do next. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to throw out a very slight layer of dry bedded paper. Very slight here, just a little bit of bedded paper, dry. This is dry bedding that I'm using, cardboard. And the reason why I'm putting it dry is I want to be able to use this as a barrier for when I add some food. This is frozen food, so this did not go through the Vitamix. But I want to sort of add some fresh fruits and veggies. I want to give them a variety to eat. I don't like it when they just eat one thing, and while technically the Vitamix is a variety of stuff, since I throw tons of stuff in there from coffee grounds to tea grounds and stuff. I do want to throw in some other things as well. There we go. There we go. And you can see we've got a pepper in here with some seeds. Those seeds are going to grow into probably plants in here, but that's okay. But there we go. We're going to have some variety for them to eat this time rather than just the same stuff over and over again. Just rip open this coffee bag on the back side here. That way the coffee can kind of spread out a little bit. All right, there we go. Now, last part to this, as you always want to do, is you really want to cover up your food. So I've got my bedding pre-soaked here. There's going to be water in here, so this bedding is going to be wet. I'm going to dump this right on top. Cover everything up. Nice fresh layer of bedding. Now these worms are doing pretty well, but they are a lot slower, I feel, still when it's cold like this. They prefer that, I want to say, high 60s to low 70s temperature. But these worms I found can work down up into the 50s, and I think even a little colder than that. A little bit colder, too cold, and they do start to freeze. I can tell a lot of water in there. But I've had them pretty cold in the basement here, and they've been perfectly fine. They just sort of slow down as their metabolism slows down, just like a person would. And there we go. That's all that paper's in there. So hopefully This will warm up a little bit. Give them some fresh, some heat in there, a little bit of heat to help them warm up. I'm just going to spray a little bit more water on top and clean off my glove here, get the paper off of it. And that is our update for this system. Overall, it looks pretty good. I'm just going to spray a little bit more water on top. It's going to run down in there. But these worms seem to do really well with this type of weather, as far as the cooler weather compared to the African Nightcrawlers, as I said. And the red wigglers also do really well. We'll see those in a couple days, hopefully. I'll check on that system. Again, I've been feeding all of these. I've not just left them here. There's times where I have done that, where I've left them for months. I have not been doing that. I've been throwing food on top, but, you know, I almost forgot. I'll add this back in there. Just put that off to the side, lean it over there. There we go. It's ready to go. And we're ready to close this system back up. Looks pretty good. The worms had completed eating a lot of the food or consuming it. Still a few things left over, but as I said, they really do slow down when it gets cold out. So overall, good update. Glad to see these worms are still working well, and thank you for watching.